Guys having it this early, but what do you feel you guys took from it?
I think it was needed. No matter when it is during the season, it's always good to be able to stop, reflect on what you've done good so far, and be able to assess that and really practice that during the bye week.
I'd be looking at Oregon State, and what kind of stands out about those guys that you've seen so far?
They're a hungry team. The record might not show the best thing, but that doesn't matter at all. Last year's team is nothing what this year's team is for them, and frankly, they won this last game, and that's what we've got to focus on.
Look at I think the guy who's been carrying the ball most for them is one of the biggest running backs I've ever seen. So,
yeah.
What stands out about when you've seen all there?
Yeah, he's a big back and not your standard shifty, incredibly fast, but he's good at what he does, and he's a good benefit for their team as well.
And with Garrettson, obviously, was at Utah State. I don't remember when they crossed, if you played against him, but what do you know about him?
Yeah, I think we played him maybe in 2013 for a little bit. But he's a good, strong back. He's very mobile and can run around. Kind of reminds me of Grant for us, and so he's gonna be a tough challenge for us.
What stands out most when you look at the Oregon State offense as a group? What do you think they do best, and what would be the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think they're fast and they've got some good misdirection stuff. They're really testing your discipline and your eyes with some of the different packages they do and some of the different misdirection they try and pull.
Do you remember facing Garrettson before? I mean, it was 2013. I think you guys were playing there, and that was his first college game. It was like halfway through the year, and it was a guy you guys had never seen and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that at all.
I don't. I can't say I remember specifically plays or anything. I mean, once you've been playing and kind of being a super senior I am and myself, a lot of those older days kind of mix with each other a little bit.
But what about the bowl game? Obviously, they got new coach, new players, but in terms of just the kind of the weird feeling out there with Coach Pete had left and everything and all the other stuff, and obviously, I think you guys get out down pretty big in the first half.
Yeah, I mean that whole situation was a little interesting for us, a little different. But besides the fact, I mean, we're losing the series between us and Oregon State, and that's something that we focused on and something we're going to go out and try to fix.
Do you guys think about that stuff? And you guys have never won over in Corvallis, stuff like that. I mean, does that at least enter your guys' minds during game weeks?
For sure. I mean, that's that chip on the shoulder that you have to find every single game, whether whoever it is you're playing. You've got to find something that will allow you to kind of create an edge for yourself.
Is them being Pac-12, is that a big deal too? And obviously, I think you guys have done 5 in a row, I think, against Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole respect thing. No matter who you're playing, you want to earn the respect, and I think Boise State as a program being able to go against two back-to-back Pac-12 teams is pretty big for our program.
Able to self-scout on the bye week, reflecting on the first 2 games as a unit on defense, where do you guys want to improve most?
I think some of the things we're looking to improve are just our overall fundamentals, so tackling and just improving our get-offs and just kind of ourselves. So the self-scout of it, so it's really the whole play-by-play of what we do in our fundamentals, I think.
What sort of environment are you expecting up there? It seems like it's a pretty big statement game for them.
Definitely, and I mean it's a great city and a cool place to play, and we're expecting their fans to be out ready to go, and their team after this win that they just had, we're expecting it to be a pretty hostile environment.
Through 2 games, what do you think has been really good about the defense? What do you think you've been most pleased with so far?
I just think as a team, we're kind of having each other's backs. I think the offense does a great job of having our back when we need them, and we do the same thing for them. And it's just kind of that strike force and watch me now mentality we had a few years ago, and I think we're doing a good job of that.
Sam McCaskill's playing close to home for this game. What impresses you most about him, and be it on the field, off the field? He's one of those fellow captains with you. What impresses you most about him?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, he's carrying out the hammer as well, and so that's going to be awesome for him doing that almost in front of a hometown crowd. And he's just a player with a lot of heart, a lot of passion for what he does, and you can really tell he cares about everything he does. So he looks at every situation, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of it, like he's preparing for game day. He goes into it ready to go, so that on Saturday or Friday, whenever we play, that he's ready to rock and roll.
Did you know when he was growing up, he was in the juggling club?
I did.
Okay.
We're roommates actually, so oftentimes we pull out the little sticks. He can light them on fire and juggle them too. So you'll have to try and get him to do that for you guys.
One guy playing really well in front of you, David Moa. What's impressed you most 2 games into the season?
I mean, looking back on it in the summer, I remember talking to you guys, and you guys were asking who's impressive, and David Moe is a guy I think I always talked about, and I think it started in the summer, and even in the spring, he knew that he was coming in and had a big role to not only fill, but make a name for himself. And starting back in the spring and through summer and through all of his training, he's made it happen, and now he's been put on the stage, and he's done what he's doing. It's good for him. We're excited for him.
In like the Washington State game, the LSU linebackers played great, and Tanner was out there, kind of possessed a bit, and I think later Leach said that some of the receivers were afraid of Tanner Vallejo. When you hear that, opposing coach say that about one of your guys, what does that mean when you hear that?
Yeah, having Tanner on our team is good for us. We enjoy that every single day, and it's awesome having him in our linebacker room as well. He's an extremely competitive player. He goes out there, and like you said, it just turns it on to a new level, and it's really fun to watch. Not only on the field, but if you ever get a chance on the sideline, it's fun to watch him out there and play.
Very good.